Hey Johnny, I'm gonna be making a video about the Sweet 16.
Oh, you're talking about the Sweet 16, the best Hot Wheels era of all time.
I don't know about that, my man. I think they've kind of been left in the past.
Oh, you better watch what you're talking about in the Sweet 16. If it wasn't for the red lines in the Sweet 16, you wouldn't have no Hot Wheels.
Oh, come on. What are you talking about?
Oh, that's it.
No. Don't do that. Don't do that.
Come here, you son of a Ah! Ah! Stop! Gotta run away.
What is up, everybody? Welcome back to another video. So today we are going to critique, revamp, redo the Sweet 16. Yes, we are going to go against all Hot Wheels history right here and reselect the Sweet 16. And we're gonna make a lineup of 16 cars that are more relevant to the actual history of Hot Wheels. Here's my position on this. The Sweet 16, for their time, were very relevant and very classic. However, even from that era, there were cars that were released in the subsequent years that were more relevant and more thought of that era than the Sweet 16. And as time has gone on, they've gotten more and more irrelevant. Really, the only thing that they have, a lot of these cars, are the fact that they are Sweet 16. So what we're gonna do here is actually make 16 cars of real, relevant Hot Wheels. And these cars right here don't just need the Sweet 16 label to be relevant. Thank you guys for all your support on the videos so far. Definitely like and subscribe. We're trying to hit 400 subscribers. So definitely join the channel if you enjoy these Hot Wheels topical content with hot takes. So without further ado, I give you the 16 most iconic Hot Wheels cars, and we're going to redo the Sweet 16. So first of all, let's talk about two cars that I believe are relevant enough from the Sweet 16 to actually still be in the Sweet 16 era. Actually, it's kind of one and a half, and I'll kind of get to what I'm talking about in a second. So first of all, we have this guy right here, the Dior one. You gotta have the Dior one right here. This car really kind of started off with the surfboards, and the surfboards and Hot Wheels I think are very synonymous at this point. This is a car that's also had multiple different versions over time. You know, the Dior 2, the Dior 3, these type of cars. There's a tuned Dior as well. Whenever I think of the Sweet 16 originally, this is the car I think of, and I just think it's the most legendary car. For my second choice, I've got the 67 Camaro, and this one's actually gonna replace the custom Camaro. And I thought they were the same casting. Turns out they are not. They are not the same casting. This casting right here with the awesome opening hood. This car right here, again, synonymous, I believe, with Hot Wheels and collecting cars from older eras. This is a car that's had so many different versions go through in its past, and some of the ones that I can most think of is that red version with the flames on it that came out in the 80s, and then they redid it in 2016, 17-ish time. So it made it into Super Treasure on, so that's a super relevant version. And then obviously this one right here, pretty cool as well, this 50th anniversary. So 67 Camaro, I think technically it is a real life Hot Wheels car. I've seen it lined up with like all the other real life Hot Wheels cars. I think it's definitely a shoe-in. This is definitely one of the biggest icons. All the rest of the cars are new. So as I said before, I really don't believe that the other cars in Sweet 16 are truly relevant today. Most of them don't exist anymore. A lot of those cars were muscle cars and American cars that were out of that time. And those cars have just gotten so many different versions that have come out during the years, and some of them I think are more relevant than the original Sweet 16 version. And there's just better models nowadays. So the next three cars we're gonna talk about are the Chevys. And I think Chevy, to be honest, might have, of any manufacturer, probably the largest amount of iconic castings. So the first one, it's the 83 Silverado, that awesome square body truck. I mean, this casting changed the game. When this casting came out, I think it came out in a premium line first before it went into the main line. This right here became the standard of square body trucks and how popular they are. And over time, as this casting right here, as its catalog has grown and grown, this square body frenzy, in my opinion, has gone way up. So this is a car that you just don't really see on the pegs. It's certainly one that's gotten a lot of classic versions. It's really become its own beast in a way. And I think for trucks, I don't think there is a more relevant truck than the 83 Silverado that Hot Wheels ever made. Second choice we're gonna go with is the 55 Bel Air Gasser. This one only came out a little over 10 years ago. This car right here paved the way for all the Gassers. It's, again, had so many iconic versions. Like, you think of like the candy stripe Bel Air Gasser, I think that was an RLC exclusive. Some of those convention exclusive Bel Air Gassers, even the first editions were really, really great. And I love this Hoonigan version right here that they made in Boulevard. It's a really sick version, probably my favorite. Very famous for people who like hot rods, Gassers, all that good stuff. This one is a must-have, so I think that's a shoo-in. And then the third one is the 57 Chevy. When we're talking about castings from the 70s and the 80s, there's not many that you think of more than the 57 Chevy. I think this kind of came out around the Blackwall era, if I'm not mistaken. And this car was just synonymous with that era so much, and it went through the 90s and I think into the 2000s, and now it's been retooled now, as you can see, and you will even see it in the main line nowadays. So I think that this casting, even though, yeah, is it completely accurate to the real car? No, but it has those essences of Hot Wheels, that kind of fat kind of look, that tune kind of look a little bit. This was kind of like a tune car before there was tune cars. So the next section I'm going to talk about is other licensed cars. I just talked about 5 right there, those 4 Chevys plus the Diora. And now we're gonna talk about 4 more, and that will round out all the licensed castings. Let's start off this part of the list with the last American car, and I'm gonna go with the Olds 442. That purple version of the Olds 442 is probably one of the most iconic Hot Wheels ever. I would love to have that car in my collection. That would be one I would love to get a custom of one day. It's just so sick. That purple is just so iconic on that Olds 442. Love playing that in the Hot Wheels Unleashed video game. But this car right here, I mean, this casting, look how good this thing looks. And it was made in the early 70s, I believe this casting originally came out. But this car right here, when I think of those non-Sweet 16 red lines, this is really the one I think of the most. So this one's really cool, and it's great down the tracks, by the way, if you have never put it down one before. It's a really good car, and it's one that's aged really nicely and well. Going next, we're gonna talk about some of the European cars. And there's only gonna be 2 of them on this list, but I think that they have completely changed the game for Hot Wheels. The first one is the Volkswagen Drag Bus. This big, heavy casting, it originally came out, I believe, in the mid-90s. I think it was like 1996 was the first edition. And I'll never forget watching a video from Race Grooves, who's obviously one of the bigger Hot Wheels YouTube channels, especially back in the early 2010s, maybe the biggest Hot Wheels YouTube channel on the whole platform. And he was talking about when he first got into Hot Wheels that there was lines back in the 90s for this casting here specifically, this awesome Volkswagen Drag Bus. And if you look on eBay, the value that this car is at, it still holds to this day. This is easily one of the most iconic cars. It's got that also amazing opening part, of course. It's got that, you know, big exhaust in the back. It's a really heavy piece. It's just an icon, right? We're gonna have to talk about the Bugatti Veyron, because the Bugatti Veyron, again, changed the game. Hypercars and supercars never really had that hype until this thing. And I don't even think it was like right away that this thing came out and it was like super difficult to find. But as the years went on, this thing became more and more and more hyped up. And it's gotten to a point where look online and see what resale prices are, especially for some of these early Bugatti Veyrons from the 2000s. They have gone way up. I mean, we're talking about $100 per car, especially for those versions that came out in the late 2000s, early 2010s. This one right here, a must have for any supercar or hypercar fan, and it's probably the one that's most synonymous with Hot Wheels. I have to put one JDM in there because the JDM craze, especially in the last 15 years, has just gone crazy. I would say this is a provisional entry because I could see other JDM cars catching up with it over time, but I've gone with the R34 Nissan Skyline. This one was originally released in 2009. This one right here with the plastic spoiler, the secondary part plastic spoiler, it just looks so good. Now they have it kind of all as one piece and it's just not the same. But this car right here, just amazing. And again, I don't know if this one back then was like really seen as a, you know, super hyped up car compared to now. But I think that even these first editions in mint condition are going for like $30 to $40 to $50 a pop sealed. It's crazy. But this car right here definitely was one of the ones that paved the way for other JDM cars later. And especially when we started getting into like 2011, 2012, some really big JDM cars came out then. But I think without this one, you probably don't get that same hype This car right here, I could see another JDM car as a builder catalog become a little bit more relevant. One that comes to mind is that R34 Super Silhouette Skyline. I think that one definitely could surpass this one. But for now, we're gonna go with this R34 Nissan Skyline. Then we gotta talk about the trio of the Hot Wheels Legends right here. If you go to a Hot Wheels Legends store, you're gonna see these three cars. And these three cars are definitely synonymous with the brand. The first one, Bone Shaker, designed by Larry Wood, released originally in 2006, has that hot rod flair that Hot Wheels has been known for. This car right here is one of the faces of every single Hot Wheels advertisement that you'll see out there. Bone Shaker, some people love it, some people hate it. Personally for me, I like this casting. I like the hard top though a bit more than this open top. And I think that the real car in real life, honestly, looks a little bit worse now that I've seen it in person than this one right here. Big icon of Hot Wheels. It's a no-brainer. Twin Mill is another one. It's at the Hot Wheels Legends tour. It's a real life car. It's another one that's like one of the faces of the brand. It's one of the most iconic castings. By the way, saw it in real life again. Huge, those engines are so big. I mean, if you were to drive this thing, it would be impossible to actually see anything that you're driving towards. I'll tell you, you would probably get in a crash so quickly on this thing. I couldn't imagine driving it. In terms of a red line, it's a red line, not a Sweet 16 red line, but it's a red line. It's maybe the most famous car, probably the most famous car from back then. So you gotta have the Twin Mill, that's a no-brainer. And then the Dior 2. The Dior 2 in terms of the 2000s, this is the most iconic car. It was a dream of mine to see this thing in real life. I was so happy I was finally able to see it. And this car is even better in person than I imagined. I'll say that, it's even better. So if you go into a Hot Wheels Legends tour, definitely try to see it. This car, we know the lore, World Race, Acceleracers. I don't need to go over it again. It's another car with those iconic surfboards on it. And we are gonna have the Dior and the Dior 2, both in the Sweet 16. Then finally, we're gonna go over 4 more Hot Wheels originals. Now, a few of these are definitely based on real life cars, but I think all 4 of these are very justified to be in this list. So the first one, Purple Passion, another Larry Wood design right here. I think originally released around 1990 or around there. And in terms of 90s castings, this version right here with the white wall wheels, if you think of like an early 90s Hot Wheels, the Purple Passion is just the one that comes to mind for me at least. This car became an icon through the 90s into the 2000s right here. There's so many different versions that you can see. It definitely has that cool old 50s style, laid back style that Hot Wheels really likes. So this one to me, no brainer, that's gotta be in there. Next up, Roger Dodger. You gotta have Roger Dodger, I think originally released in 1974. Can't believe this is not a real life Hot Wheels. I can't believe it. You know, that trio I showed before, it should really be a quartet because this should be at that same level. If you're talking about a car that's probably the most iconic Hot Wheels original other than those 3, it's gotta be this one. This is in the Mount Rushmore of Hot Wheels for me. This car is based on a 70s Dodge Challenger, but obviously it's got that huge engine for it. Synonymous with Hot Wheels. If you think of Hot Wheels, this is one of the cars you're gonna be thinking of. So that's a must have. We gotta talk about Custom Auto. Custom Auto was the car that was on the Hot Wheels packaging back then. It was not really a real life Hot Wheels or even in 164 for a very long time. And then it kind of caught some headlines because it was the diamond Hot Wheels, right? It was a Hot Wheels made of all diamond or Swarovski crystals. I don't remember what it was, but it was the most expensive Hot Wheels ever made at the time. It was a promotional car that they made and it was of this Custom Auto, and now it's in the main line and it's finally actually in 164 scale, getting to be one of the faces of the brand that it deserves. And I think this car right here, even though it's a fantasy casting, is more iconic than most of those muscle cars that were in the original Sweet 16. This car, when it was drawn on paper, it was meant to match those original Sweet 16 cars, and now we have it here and you can find it on the pegs, and yeah, it's an icon. And then finally, I'm looking towards the future. I'm looking to see which car is the one that's gonna take this brand forward, because the Twin Mill, the Bone Shaker, Dior 2, Roger Dodger, these cars have been around for a while. All of them are at least almost 20 years old at this point. So we need to find a new face of the brand, a car that we can make into a real life Hot Wheels, a car that we can put on all the advertisements. And I think we have the one right here. I think this is the one right here. This is, to me, should be the new main character of Hot Wheels. This is the car, if they're gonna make a car into a real life Hot Wheels car, this is the one. If they make a Hot Wheels movie, this needs to be the main character's car. This is the one. It's the name of it is El Segundo Coupe. That's obviously where Mattel is headquartered. In terms of the look of it, it's sleek. It's got some of those old Hot Wheels tropes. It's different though. It's a coupe. It's flashy, but it's sedated at the same time. It's got everything that you want. And when I'm putting together the Sweet 16, I need somebody new that can come in and become the face of the brand going forward. Clearly they see something in this car. I just say go all the way with the El Segundo Coupe and make it into one of the faces of the brand. Now let's talk about honorable mentions here. There was certainly quite a lot that was in consideration, but some ones that stuck out to me. Number one, the Datsun 510 wagon. At one point in time, this was the most hyped up JDM car, but I do feel like the hype for this casting has gone down in the past 3 to 5 years. So just missed out because I feel like those Skylines are just a bit more relevant. Another car that I kind of thought of was the Fast Fish. The Fast Fish, which I have right over here. I think the Fast Fish could have been the face of Hot Wheels, but it just never really got that run and that chance. Even still, it's still a very iconic casting to this day, but it just missed out barely, but it just missed out. I have to talk about the Volkswagen Beach Bomb. I feel like that's one that everyone's gonna kind of think of when they think of Hot Wheels, that pink Beach Bomb. But I would pose this question. Do you only know that casting because it's the most expensive Hot Wheels, because it was very limitedly made in that pink color, and because Bruce Pascal has made that casting kind of in its own monster? All of that coupled together has kind of overhyped that Beach Bomb casting. For like the everyday Hot Wheels collector, the Volkswagen Drag Bus is more relevant than the Beach Bomb. And the Beach Bomb is more for just the kind of show of, this is the most expensive Hot Wheels, Bruce has it, this is it. But you don't really see a lot of the other colors of that car. At least I don't usually ever being kind of advertised. So I feel like for the everyday consumer, the Volkswagen Drag Bus is more relevant. Certainly there were other Hot Wheels cars that they made in real life, such as Rip Rod and Bad to the Blade, that I could have put in this list here, but I just don't feel like they have truly become the icons that the 3 cars that I did put on this list that were real life Hot Wheels cars made. I think another one you could argue is the TV series Batmobile. I think Batmobile certainly had a really nice history in Hot Wheels, and the TV series Batmobile to me is the most iconic one, but it just again missed out. I feel like that's a casting also that's kind of faded out, you know, over time. The DeLorean Time Machine is another one that comes to mind, but again, I feel like it kind of faded out. Especially that 81 DMC DeLorean really started off hot back in like 2009, 2010 when it came out, but it's definitely been one that's kind of faded away over time. And then the Gasper Monkey Corvette is another one. That's a casting that is a real life Hot Wheels car that they bring on Legends Tour, but I feel like in diecast it hasn't quite hit the same. Those castings there and many, many others could have been considered for this list. I bet you if I made this list in 5 years, there'd probably be about 3 to 5 cars that probably be swapped out, because this is always evolving, this is always changing. But in 2025, I think these are the 16 most relevant Hot Wheels. And if we were gonna make a new Sweet 16 and start Hot Wheels all over again, I think these are the cars that you could easily build around, and they could take the brand to the same heights that, you know, we got originally, and even higher, to be honest with you. So if you stayed long enough to the end of this video, you know, thank you guys for watching. I did want to talk about my first Hot Wheels Legends Tour experience real quick here that I went to in Charlotte. It was awesome. I finally got to see the Diora 2 in person, the Twin Mill, the Bone Shaker, and some of the awesome cars that people built themselves. And it's really incredible to see all the craftsmanship and creativity that people have and the enthusiasm they have for their cars. I haven't actually seen who the winner was, so I'll have to check on Instagram when that's actually announced, because I left a little bit early. I do want to give a big shout out to Caleb and Caleb's father for, you know, approaching me at Hot Wheels Legends Tour. It was great to meet you, and I've never met a fan in person, so certainly that was a really cool experience. And thanks so much for your support, Caleb. And you know, I want to wish you and your dad well with all of your building of your cars and such. So, thanks for reaching out to me, and, definitely I wish you all the best. But if you're a Hot Wheels fan, you've never been to Hot Wheels Legends Tour, I would definitely think it's worth it. For me, I didn't go there to get like the exclusive Hot Wheels and such. So like, I didn't stand in line. I wasn't like going to the pegs and looking for Hot Wheels cars, right? There was some skirmishes for cars in the store, which was a little bit disappointing to see, collectors acting like juvenile children as usual. But I mean, I had a great time. I went there just to see the real life cars, and I got to see that experience. So definitely, it was worth the 6-hour drive here from Florida to Charlotte. So thanks all for watching. Let me know your opinions on the Sweet 16 down below. Do you think that they're overrated? Do you think they're underrated? What do you think in terms of if other cars were in those spots, what do you think the brand would be? You think it'd be kind of similar? Or do you think that the brand could be more popular? Or do you think it would be less popular? And what cars would you put in your Sweet 16? Because I guarantee you this, with 16 spots to fill, we are not gonna agree on all of them. So I'd love to hear your Sweet 16s down in the comments below, the most iconic Hot Wheels. So until next time, definitely like and subscribe, and I'll talk to you guys all later. So take care, bye-bye.